Seltzer Time.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky, aka Dick Chuck. I just realized I didn't open the can like in the camera. I opened it still on the.
They heard it.
Okay. Aka Dick Chuck, the man behind the aka the man behind the can. There it is. I did that to myself. I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw it in because I'm thinking too much about the fact that I opened this can, not how I usually do it. Now it's over here. Here's ours with my conversation accomplice with a hunch about Worcester, Travis.
What is crackin' Fizzle Fiends? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. And as always, we are stoked that you are here. And as you can tell, we're back in our places. This one, we figured it was a little easier to record on the Zooms. So we're back on the Zoom so you can see us on the YouTube. No shitty stock footage. Which was way too big. I was downloaded some huge file. Anyway, but we have a pretty interesting band this week. We're talking to another band, a local band called Memory Lame.
Yeah. So when you see them booking shows, which places are doing now, go check them out. Say what's up. Tell them you listen to the show.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to be playing some shows around the Worcester area in the near future. But why listen to us tell you when they can tell you yourselves? When they can tell you themselves, whatever, listen to it. Everybody feeling handsome? Awesome. Black shirts around. This is the way we do things. What is crackin' Fizzle Fiends? This week on the show, we are talking to Memory Lame. Phil, Ron, Joey, thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Going on, guys. Happy Sunday.
Memorial Day Eve.
Yeah.
Second Saturday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Very true.
It feels so weird having nothing to do tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Great.
I feel like I've got a lot of stuff, but I can't think of it right now. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
That's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
As of right now, we're sitting here talking about Seltzer and Worcester and your guys' plan for getting back out and playing music. I'm sure you guys are all itching to play again.
Oh yeah, we're dying. Like it's just been so, we've just been itching to play since like COVID and the shutdown and everything. So,
because you guys were going pretty hard before, right?
What's up?
You guys were like going pretty hard with like shows before.
Yeah, there was a period where we were playing like like a show like once every other week or once a week. Like it was pretty crazy for
It was a lot to keep track with because like one week we'd have like Rouse or the Vernon, and then like we did a lot of the collective club shows, a lot of the basement shows too. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. How did you become a band?
Ron, you want to take this? Or want me to get it?
Yeah, you go for it.
All right. So I would say late 2018. I met Ron through just the scene and through friends. And I was in a separate band at the time. And our first couple shows, we just needed openers. And through friends, knew Ron. We're like, oh, do you want to like open up solo for us? And he was like, yeah. So our first show, he opened up for us solo. And then I was like, oh, I messed around on drums. Like if you want next show, you want to open up again, I'll play drums for you. And then learned some songs that he already had, a couple covers. And then it went better than we thought. So we were just like, oh yeah, like we'll keep it going. Started out playing and then writing shit together, and then needed a bass player. We had put a 4-song EP by, I would say, March of 2019, right? Maybe February 2019. And we just,
I think it was.
Yeah. And then we just met Phil like through the scene, through friends. Like he hit us up. He's like, oh yeah, I'm totally down to, jam. And Phil showed up to our first full band practice and learned the entire 4-song EP ready to go, like just by listening to it. And like we played for, I think, like the first half hour, and Phil went to the bathroom. I was just like, Ron, he's in.
But yeah, I knew Phil through like the music scene, like when I was playing drums for this other band that I was in before we came up with this band, Strange Love. I mean, we had like kind of a small following back in, I think it was 2015 we started playing, but Phil was in this band Husks. Super cool. Everybody like was multi-instrumentalist, and like they'd play a few songs and then everybody would switch instruments. And I was like, that's so cool. And then like I just kind of saw him throughout the scene and stuff. And then like he just hit me up on Facebook one day and he was like, yo, I saw you were looking for a bass player. I was like, yeah, come on down.
Yeah, it was like me and a group of friends kind of moved to Worcester. I think it was like 2014 or something like that, or maybe earlier than that, 2013. And then we were all friends, and we were on a band together, which was Husks, which Ron mentioned. So we were playing for a while. I think it did that at that point when I was looking at Memory Lane stuff. It was like I think we had kind of cooled by then. But yeah, Ron just had a Facebook post, and like it had the songs were good. It had a cool like Ren and Stimpy kind of art aesthetic to it.
Nice.
So caught my eye, and yeah, we just really clicked and been rolling ever since.
There you go. So how many shows? All right. So you guys got together. Did you play a bunch of shows and then record stuff? Or like, did you know you're going to record right off the bat?
So we had like everything written, we had our set lists and everything. And like at one point, I feel like after playing some shows, we were like, oh shit, like we have an album, Yeah. So then we went to the studio. What was it? Ron, was it fall of 2019?
Yeah, fall.
So real quick, we might have just blazed by this, but Memory Lane, that's an interesting band name. I find band names fascinating, like the horrible band names that we've all been through, and you always end up on one. How do you get to that one that you decide on is the one that you want to use?
So it's actually kind of funny. I was falling asleep one night, and it just like kind of popped into my head, like Memory Lane. And I was just like, that's kind of funny. And it'd make a good band name. So I just wrote it down on my phone, totally forgot about it until like me and Joey started jamming. And he was like, what should we call ourselves? And I was like, oh wait, I have this written down. And then I was like, let's call ourselves Memory Lane. And he was like, oh, Memory Lane. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I was like, no, lame as in like, that's lame. And he was like, oh, I like that so much more.
Yeah. You first said it. And I was like, I remember I heard Lane. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. That's kind of cheesy. Like I said, we sound like a dad cover band. And like, and then you said lame. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Like okay, that's cooler.
The name is so hard though. I swear it's like harder than writing music because it's such a heavy identifier and it's with you for eternity. And it's like, you're referred to it always. And if it sounds stupid, you just feel like an idiot every time you say it.
Yeah. And the more people...
Exactly. And like, or people, they'll be like, wait, your name is what? Your name is Butthole Surfers? Yeah.
I feel like band names that like make you ask it again kind of stick into your brain a little more. Yeah. It's like, wait, what was your name? You kind of like, the more you say it, the more it sticks.
Okay.
I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not
that's like a band.
Say that again.
Hoobastank.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they all come from somewhere. I named a band off of everybody's initials, and somebody misread it one time, and they asked if it said Trip Set, and we were a rap rock band, and we're like, yeah, that's what we're calling ourselves, Trip Set.
Like it.
My buddy Matt called his band Flip 4, and just like Phil's saying, they fucking hated their name at the end, and they would like almost regret telling people what their band name was, and they opened up for Story So Far, some other like decently named show, and they were like, do we have to put our logo on this thing? Like, it was...
Yeah. Back to talking about like our previous bands and stuff, like the band I was in, we were called Dead Center, and like everybody thought we were a Grateful Dead cover band. And that was not the case at all. Like, you know what I mean? So, which is awesome. Totally, I don't blame anybody, for thinking that. So But I was like, shit.
Well, it's also
I'm gonna think that.
So many of the good names are already taken. So
absolutely.
But it's like how many bands exist that are named like the Shadows? Like I'm sure there are like 50 bands.
Silence
Across the globe. Yeah.
I was in a band that we really thought it was a good idea to call ourselves SIDS, Sudden Infantile Death Syndrome. That lasted for 2 days until somebody's mom found out and made us change it. We were so hard.
I was in a cover band for like 3 minutes. And our name was Cussy and the Wreckers because our drummer's his last name was Cussy, and he was a tow truck driver. So we were like, this is a great idea.
That's a great name.
It was pretty epic.
Well, because people misread it as Pussy Wreckers, and
yeah, they said his name wrong all the time. So I was like Kusi, and it was not. Yeah.
So
that was it.
All right. I know you guys were playing a bunch before quarantine, but you were continuing playing through quarantine, right? Didn't you put out some kind of special thing, some special tape thing?
So we played, we released our album during the summertime, people listen to it. Thank you for listening. But yeah, that was kind of like our big release, being like, hey, don't forget about us. And then we were able to play one show at Ralph's Outdoors in, I think, what was it, August?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the most we've done as far as like.
Yeah, well, we also did a live stream. I don't remember exactly what.
I forgot. Yeah.
That was early on, I think. That was before the show.
Yeah.
I want to say that was like April or May, and then we did that outdoor show at Ralph's in like August.
Yeah.
So
that early into, or a live stream that early into COVID.
Yeah, we kind of like just really miss playing. We all like took, the safety precautions.
We didn't get together for I think 2 to almost 3 months prior.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at that point, I think like for our first practices, we were taking, the week or two to quarantine before we met up to practice, stuff like that. But
yeah, and then we just got like a couple friends that had like some video experience, and we had stop by our practice space and just normal filming of us doing our normal stuff in our normal zone. But it was refreshing to be able to actually kind of perform after like months of stagnation.
Yeah.
So it was good to have that option. It was a kind of a fun thing to do too, because nothing. I don't think any of us had ever done that sort of dynamic before the live stream.
And our friend who ended up recording that for us or helping us out with that was Christy, who's in the band Clockout.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, we're good buddies with them. We played a couple shows with them. So
he's actually kind of like one of our go-to guys as far as like photography and like. I mean, we're going to start doing more video work with him, but he took like our promo pics for the album that we put out, and the headshots that are on the front of our album, he took those, and I just like edited them to hell.
That's awesome. I love how like everybody's kind of in on everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a really nice community to be a part of. Like, always been.
Did you guys grow up in Worcester?
I was just gonna tangent. It's fine.
Sorry. So did you guys grow up like going to shows in Worcester, like prior to playing?
Not really. No, I was always kind of just like a homebody. I always just like kind of kept to myself. I'd write music myself and like put it up online, but like never share it. And then it wasn't until like I moved back home from college where I was like deciding like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go out and see like what Worcester has to offer. I've lived here my whole life. I might as well like see what the local music scene is. And like at that point I was trying to get into bands and stuff. So that's kind of like where I started. I would like go to like DIY venues like Distant Castle, Firehouse, the Shop when it was still around. And that's like how I like got into like the whole DIY punk scene.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
Phil, you're not from around here, right?
No.
You moved to Worcester?
Yeah. I'm originally from Connecticut,
Oh, cool.
which is really fucking boring, and there's nothing going on there culturally.
What part did you escape?
I'm in northern Connecticut, Granby, Connecticut. It's like right on the border between Mass and.
I worked in East Granby for a while.
Shit.
I'm from Watertown, which is down by Waterbury.
Yeah. So
That place on 84 that always backed up no matter where you go.
Oh yeah. I was on 290 when I'm coming back home.
Respect.
But East Granby is like the shittier Granby. I feel bad for you, my friend. But
I worked in a strip mall behind the airport. I printed billboards.
Yeah, but so Connecticut sucks. There's nothing out there. So I went to college in Boston, and there's definitely a live, music DIY scene there with like, just those random big like Boxford, Gay Gardens, that kind of thing. And then after that, just moved to Worcester since it was cheaper. And, like Ron said, there's some long-standing collectives here, like the Firehouse, I think is the longest one, and Distant Castle's also been here for a long time.
Where's Distant Castle? I've heard of that, but I've never been.
Yeah, I
feel like it's a punk rule that you don't say the address.
Oh, you okay. It's like
it's not a castle.
That's not surprising.
much like Shawarma Palace isn't a palace.
Yeah.
I dig it. But I respect that, Ron. But yeah, it is cool that these collectives are out there, and that I hope to hear that they're coming back. I haven't heard any. I know one of them changed hands.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones that we did was it's called the Go-Go, right, guys?
Yeah.
That was one of the cooler ones we played, because we played with a couple just bands on tour. Like there was this one band called Juniper Douglas, and they were from like Midwest, and they had like their own like redone school bus painted purple. Like they had a dog with them, like just these 5 people. Yeah. They had a dog on the bus. There's 5 people living on the bus. And they were just so cool and weird and put on an awesome show. It was like, a farmhouse garage show.
They reminded me a lot of Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
Not only was it like just like visually, like it wasn't like, just auditory like music, but like they did like a performance, like visual art too. Like
that's cool.
Yeah,
it takes care of the dog.
The merch guy.
I think it was just their dog, and they just they just lived with them on the bus.
It plays tambourines, Ricky. They tape a tambourine to its tail, and it just shakes it in the back on stage. Yeah. Well, it depends on the set. If they're doing a good set, it'll wag more. But if they're bombing, the dog will actually go hide.
If you need if you need barks, he's your.
And there's a metal band called K9us, and their lead singer is a dog, and he just barks into the mic, and it's awesome.
That's incredible.
I don't believe they have live performances, do they? I've seen studio work.
I would love to see him live though. The dog's probably freaking out.
I would love to see how they can pull that shit off.
Yeah.
I love those weird bands. Go ahead.
Going back to when you guys first started jamming together, you mentioned you guys did a couple covers. Do you remember what they were?
Yeah, we did a handful of them.
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of them. I think that first me and you played together, Joey. We did some oddball covers. We did Levitate Me by the Pixies, which is like off their first EP, Caribou. And then we did Excitable Boy by Warren Zevon.
Okay.
Nice.
Another fun thing, just as a background for the 3 of us, is one of the coolest thing, and I think it works well with our communication, is we're all multi musicians. Like we all don't just play one thing.
Yeah.
Like, like Ron was the drummer in his old band. I was a singer and guitar player in my old band. Phil was singer, guitar, and drummer in his old bands. So like we can kind of give each other advice and words of wisdom of when we're writing, and like, oh, like I think that sounds cool, but try doing this, vice versa with everybody. But like with the covers going too, like we did the the Pixies classic "Where Is My Mind," and like Ron goes on drums and I sing and play.
Oh, nice.
And then it makes the whole band scenario work well, I'd say. But
have you guys ever listened to Good Old War?
Or sounds familiar.
Is Anthony Green from Circus Survive? It's like his touring backup band.
Oh, okay.
But they all play like different instruments. So throughout like a single set, they'll all like one of them will play drums, one of them will play guitar, we'll do keyboards, whatever.
Mm. Yeah, that's right.
You guys can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think other covers we've done. Like we did Mongoloid by Devo. And Without Hats, we did Safety Dance.
That was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of that one.
That's awesome.
We bombed. That was so bad. We played it. we were like just trying to like find like another like 3 minutes to fill our set, and we were like, oh, let's do Safety Dance. That's a great song. And so I learned the keyboard part on guitar, or I half learned it on guitar, and then we went to go play the show, and I was like stumbling all over the place. Couldn't remember the lyrics because like that song's like I think 5 minutes long, but we were just trying to shorten it. But yeah, it was not a good performance on our end, or on my end, I should say.
Probably one of the better covers we do that we still bring back is Modest Mouse. Which one is it, Ron?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's interesting because it's a strange song. Like it's very non-linear and just like long swells of silence, and then or not silence, but long like it's very build and release kind of thing. And it's not like verse chorus. It's like it's kind of a journey. It's not just like a familiar structure to everything. So that's something where you kind of got to be locked in on. But that kind of makes it one of the more interesting ones to do, though.
Challenging personally, that was challenging for me and as a cover and just to learn. I feel like that just made me learn and be better as a drummer, honestly. So just like, you don't want to have all those songs that are verse, chorus. So you have like 2 verses, 2 choruses, a bridge, chorus, mellow part, bridge, Yeah,
I mean, drums in particular can be very easy to just fall into a pattern of like just hi-hat on the verse, switch to the ride for the chorus, back to the hi-hat, back to the ride. So it's songwriting that is different definitely helps push you towards more creative parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the Modest Mouse is a wild one to approach as a cover.
Yeah, I wanted something that like this is like kind of my approach as to like figuring out what covers to do is like I want to do songs that like people aren't really all that familiar with.
Yeah,
because they'll be like, oh, what song was that? And then we'll like announce it at the end of the song or whatever, and people will be, they might check out that band or they might do a deeper dive into a band that they already know. I'm just trying to expose people to more music. I that's all I really am trying to accomplish.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
So now that we're like, on the other side, I guess, of COVID, where are we going next? Where's Memory Lane playing or looking to play or?
So like I said, we have like a couple shows in the works. We're trying to do one early July and another one early August at Ralph's, just because with Worcester, it's kind of like our best bet. And, it's like the spot to play for like our type of music. So we have a lot of, we've played a lot of shows and know a lot of other local bands that we can play with. So we're looking at that. And then, we'll just kind of see what we can do. It's really week by week, day by day. We haven't been on tour yet, so that's something we were also looking at. Probably just like something local. A nice little East Coast. Couple dates, long weekend or something like that.
Just do the weekend warrior shit. Touring, it doesn't make sense if you haven't started to build the name, especially these days with the way the internet works. But do the weekend warrior shit, man. You could make. There were dudes when I was back in bands that were having national release that were doing the Weekend Warrior shit every just a hardcore band, Death Before Dishonor. Like that dude, I forget what label they were on, but they were getting some pretty decent name recognition. But they were all kept 9 to 5 day jobs throughout the week, and then Friday through Sunday they were gigging.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't lose everything. I mean, it's rock and roll music. I mean, there's only so much money until there's money.
Yeah. Well, and that with a lot of the collective shows too, like we've met touring bands, but like we kind of had an idea of what we wanted to do, like the long weekends. Like we've met a band from Albany, Brooklyn, Bangor, Maine. You know, we were going to do like kind of just a Northeast, you know, New England type of style, go down to Philly, you know, but it would most likely be a collective show.
Yeah. So many opportunities. And that's the other thing I love about, like, again, the local scene and the way the internet works these days is that between show trades, between just like looking at somebody else's schedule, where the fuck are these dudes playing? All right, I could find a promoter if I find the venue. I could find the promoter that's doing my show night. It just makes it all a lot easier. It's fucking chasing down information on the internet, but you could book an entire show in your bedroom in a night. Or sorry, an entire tour in your bedroom in a night.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I really like about the internet right now.
Oh, dude, it's how I would book all of our shit back when I was in the band, and it was through MySpace, and it was just hitting up promoters and then finding out who the hell was going to have the show, who, you know, who's paying, who's actually paying a guarantee. I fucking never selling tickets again. If I ever play music again, I'll never sell tickets. Like, oh, here's 20 tickets. If you sell it, you'll get $50. Yeah. Or you can eat my entire asshole now for free.
Pay to play bullshit. It's always just like, oh, we're gonna make money off these like dumb kids. Like they can't sell these fucking tickets, and they don't know it, but
it comes to a certain point. Like, I can understand from the venue's perspective. There's a venue in New Haven called Toad's Place. With the way they used to do it is they would just give the coupons, and that gave somebody $2 off. And then if enough people used your coupon to come in to get a little bit less money, you would get name recognition, you would get asked back. But you didn't have to give the venue any money. There were other places where you'd basically buy your tickets ahead of time.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of like the places that like make you buy tickets. Yeah,
I hate that stuff.
Fuck that's shit.
So
pyramid scheme or concert.
Yeah, right.
But again, from the venue's perspective, like, they must have gotten burned by so many bands that don't understand the value of marketing and doesn't understand that this whole music is an industry. There's more to it than just getting up on stage. And it doesn't matter how well you think your songs are written. If you haven't told anybody about it, nobody's going to be there except the other bands. Yeah. And their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Well, significant others, I should say.
And one thing that I love about us too is, like, you know, from so far, you know, making some money off a show is awesome, but the exposure is the number one thing for us. Getting our music out there, like playing a show and that, you know, like having just a stranger or someone you've never met come up to you afterwards and be like, "Oh, you guys kicked ass! Like, that was awesome! Like, let's have a beer and hang." It's like, that's the best feeling.
That's rad.
You know, that's the best part of it. So,
Are you guys? Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, back to that community, like, we're all in it together. So it's like, yeah.
I kind of want someone to be after a show, just be like, "Hey, you fucking sucked ass. I'm glad you stopped playing." That would be kind of refreshing.
I want to tell a band that I thought they had a shitty set, good set again, just kind of casually. You know what I mean? That's like if you hear good set, that's the bare minimum. I forgot who said it. I was just listening to a podcast recently, and they opened up a show, and it was like the greatest compliment he ever got. It was at the band they opened for. The guitarist walked by. He goes, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." He's like, "Oh, that was the greatest feeling I've ever gotten in the entire world."
Oh man, I would love that compliment.
Because now you got to go play to a show that you just killed the entire room, and now
that's awesome.
So that makes me laugh. That's the beautiful thing about the music industry.
Trying to think if there's ever been a show that I've been to where the openers like completely blew the headliner out of the water.
I could think of a show. It was G Love, and I fucking love G Love, but they had this local band. It was like Rise. They're like a Boston-based funk rock band, and I want to say it's like 8 or 9 piece band, and they just blew this band out of the water. And then G Love comes on with a 2-piece, 3-piece band, like just completely subdued, lost all the energy in the room. And it just, we left 2 songs into G Love because people just kept talking over them. It sucked.
Oh, I saw like 4 Year Strong and Taking Back Sunday open for Blink-182, like 2 tours after Blink got back together the first time.
Skiba or pre-Skiba?
It was actually the last Blink. I think it was the last Blink tour before Skiba.
Okay.
And then Blink sucked. And I'm like the biggest Blink fan.
Yeah.
I still fucking love that band. But like 4 Year Strong was good. And then Taking Back Sunday was just easily the best band of the entire night. It was unbelievable. And then Blink came on. I was like, oh, this is cool, but like it's not as good as Taking Back Sunday. Who I don't like anywhere near as much as Blink.
Mics are for swinging or singing, not swinging. So just talking about exposure and finding new ways to get your music out there. Have you guys adapted it for new media yet? Like, are you looking to either sell it to license it and try to find, money that way, or potentially put it on TikTok or any of those type of platforms?
It's funny. The distributor that we put like our music up online through, automatically put it on TikTok. And I randomly downloaded TikTok the other day, went through like the music, and I saw our music on there, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, did anybody use it? And we have like a few people who have used it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool.
That's so sick.
Yeah, but it's like not taking off. There's only like 4 songs with like 1 play each. So
still,
yeah.
But
I'm not. I don't. It's like I don't have TikTok. Like it's like we had Vine. I felt like that was like that for me. Yeah. But nah.
Telling you guys, if you ain't adapting, you dying. As a 35-year-old man, I had Friendster, I had MySpace, I had it all, and I have a TikTok because it's just where media is right now. It's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah, we got everything else. Like we got our Facebook, Instagram, but
also the moms from Facebook come rock out at your show, so that's something.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
that's all right. They're welcome to. Why not? Music's for everybody.
Yeah, we got to get some NFTs going. Maybe some crypto, a little memory lane crypto going.
Legit. I mean, it's just everything needs to be considered. It's how you're making money on the digital waves these days.
Yeah.
Spider leg coin.
Yeah.
ML coin. Lame coin. I'm
the
sure
lame
it exists.
coin. That's a great one. Ooh. Yeah.
I'll get that started for next week. It'll be literally 100 airs. So you only have some local shows booked. Do you have any spots in mind where you'd really like to play this summer? We'll say.
I mean,
have you ever played a show in Brooklyn? Brooklyn was a lot of fun to play.
No, I mean, I think we would do pretty well in like New York, Brooklyn area. I feel like that whole like kind of town, or I don't know, is it a town? Is it a city? What is it? City of Brooklyn. Yeah. Okay.
Brooklyn's a borough of New York City. So it's like a city within a city.
Yeah. So
did I get that right? Is that right? Okay.
It's a part of it's a city.
City of Brooklyn. So I'm just gonna call it a city. But yeah, I feel like that whole city has just been like, I don't know, hipster paradise. Like everything is just like you kind of like taken back in time. Like old kind of music is like kind of cool there, and like I feel like we have like kind of like that old sound. I mean, it is technically classic rock now, right?
Grunge. That's not what they're calling it. Is that what you guys call it? You call it grunge? I would think garage rock, but I could hear grunge too.
Yeah, it's definitely got like grunge like influences. I'm not a huge fan of calling it grunge because like what is really grunge? I mean, there's like
says the guy in a flannel shirt.
Yeah, you have Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. They all sound totally different from each other. So it's like, what is that? But yeah, I mean, I like to say experimental, like whenever or like noise rock. I feel like we fit that kind of umbrella.
We get like like I said, like when people come up to us and, you know, just saw us or whatever, like people we're not just like friends with. Like I always tell people, like, as far as my opinion, it's like Pixies, Nirvana, Sonic Youth. And then like we'll cover Nirvana once in a while, and like people like love it. They're like, oh shit, like these guys are like, cover more Nirvana. Like, fuck. But yeah, I love me Nirvana, but
it does change though. I mean, we definitely started more towards, just to use those three examples, more towards the Nirvana end, and now we're more of a Sonic Youth flavor.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of the evolution of it. It's kind of gone that
way. I kind of wanted to make that change because as much as I love Nirvana, I don't want to be like in their shadow. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Sonic Youth, there's so much music there where like they have like so many different sounds, but like it's still like Sonic Youth, where you can kind of like take that and like adapt it to anything. So I that's what I'm trying to do with like the new music that we're writing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sonic Youth is more about, it's like the sound of it is like you're hearing weird sounds and like guitar, parts and like effects and shit. Whereas like Nirvana is like, this is the song, like the songship, like the songwriting and the melodicism is really what makes it. So that's much more self-contained. Like you can't, like it's much easier to get a Sonic Youthy kind of like, I don't know, vibe or tone, just because that kind of sound is a distinctive part of their music. As opposed to Nirvana, which is much more about the craft.
I don't think I've ever like got into sound like a Sonic Youth. I just remember like being a little kid and be like, Nirvana fucking rules. And that was like the extent. And then as I got older, the only grunge thing I listened to was Pearl Jam. But
yeah. It's funny too, with the Nirvana thing. It's like their influences were Sonic Youth and the Pixies. So it's to follow that and, love all three. But it's interesting how it works out with our sound and all that. But
oh yeah,
I used to hate categorizing or putting things in genres.
Yeah.
So when people asked the band I played, and I would tell them that we played classical music, it wasn't classical, but it just felt right. Everything you just described to a radio station is calling out alternative anyway. So
yeah.
Plus, I mean, everyone, if you ask someone what kind of music they listen to, everyone says, "Oh, I listen to everything." So,
that's a good point.
What use do those labels have at this point? Because you're like, "Oh, I like rock music," even something as broad as that. It's like it could be anything. Alternative music. What the hell?
Like, oh yeah, I love alternative. Oh yeah, what's your favorite band? Imagine Dragons. Okay.
But much like every name is taken, like a lot of the sounds have been taken. So I think it's interesting that we keep seeing a lot of overlapping and kind of pushing of or melding of genres. Like I like a lot of instrumentative metal bands that are adding, digital sound effects and other types of stuff. So they end up becoming these really weird studio bands where I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off in a live setting, but either here or there. It doesn't make one better than the other. They just are different and they are who they are.
Yeah. And one thing I think that's cool about like, even just speaking the local scene in Worcester County is like I said, we're buddies with Clockout, who's a hardcore band, but we're comfortable and like, we're on a bill with them. And then like, we're considered like indie grunge alternative. So like you have a lineup that is, each band is a completely different sound and it's dope. You know what I mean? You go to a show and you see a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of crossover? That's interesting.
So I would say from our experience, I mean, guys, if you want to input.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, we're also good friends with the guys in Zigmond, and they're kind of like they're kind of like Grateful Dead, they're like a jammy, but like, they're also very like, I feel like they don't like jam too hard. Like, and that's why I like them. I'm not a fan of jam bands.
Yeah.
And
same.
I mean, I guess you could call Sonic Youth a jam band, but I don't see that. They're droning.
There's like a lot of influence and middle grounds that we're meeting.
Yeah.
You guys see yourselves including any other weird? I mean, you guys are all many instrument players. Like, can you see you adding other instruments or other odd things to the music going forward?
The only thing I've ever thought about is like maybe adding another guitarist, but like I kind of like where we're at right now. Just the three heads. It's easy. No, nobody really butts heads with each other. So
Keeps it simple.
yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, in terms of we do get there's some variation in terms of the people we play with, but really all of it is, solidly guitar based music, it's not so much, we're not playing with like hip hop acts or, a mariachi band, but
we totally should start though.
I was gonna say that's a bill.
A hip hop mariachi band. I hope that exists somewhere.
Dude, there's got to be one somewhere.
We played with a band that sounded like the Lumineers once. Your choice.
Really?
Hey.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the only song I know by them, so that's the only thing I thought of. Hey. That's
Ron, you can tell that if you want. I know we were talking about it the other night. Brought him up.
Yeah,
Best friends.
Yeah. So we've played this. We played this show once where the Vernon got double booked. Like they had a show in the ship room and they had the show in the bar, and we were just about ready to like start loading in, and I get a message on my phone saying like, "Hey, I saw that you're playing at Ralph's tonight, or not Ralph's, the Vernon tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, are you coming?" And he was like, "No, we're playing there too." And I was like, "You're not on our bill." Anyway, long story short, we end up kind of like just putting the shows together because one band from each of our lineups dropped, so it was easier just to put the two shows together. And this one band that I was going to have open was like kind of like an acoustic band. Like they had like an upright bass, an acoustic guitar, and like I think it was a tambourine player, but like
frontman's wearing a full suit.
Was it a dog?
Awesome.
Right out of the 40s. And I was like, all right, well, what's this guy's get up? And then they show up to the show late. I tell them, hey, you're on. And they take their time setting up. And I'm like, oh, come on. I'm just trying to get the show started. But they end up playing their set. And like, I haven't really liked them since. Fast forward a few months later, we're playing a show at Starlight, RIP. And
the roller skating place?
No. Starlight is in Sturbridge or Southbridge.
Oh, yeah. I went there a couple times.
Oh,
Skylight. I wish we could play a show at Skylight. I would love that.
Skylight, yeah.
Skylight's gone too.
Sad.
But yeah. So anyway, we were playing a show at Starlight, and halfway through the set, I see them, and I'm like, oh, what are they doing here? They're probably just here to, check out the music scene. And then they're like grabbing like a piano or like a electric keyboard or something from the side of the set, like while a band is playing. I'm like, what are these people doing? And they're loading it into the front side where the bar is. Yeah. I'm like, they're setting up to play a show. Are you kidding me? They did this like 2 or 3 more times, and I was just so sick of it. They're like, they're my enemy. I'll say it's the band's enemy though.
That's so good. So every time you guys play a show, this band just shows up and is like, I think we're going to play too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know if we got beef.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Are they from around here?
I think so. I don't know.
They play at the Vernon quite a bit.
The Vernon.
We're not going to name drop to start beef.
No, but yeah. We don't want like an East Coast, West Coast thing going down.
Yeah. No, but it like the second time it happened, I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then we just laughed. Like, we're like, all right, well, let's crank our shit. We're gonna play it mad loud while they're in the other room so you can't hear. So
the last time they tried to play in the other room while we had a show going on, they were like waiting for us to like finish our set. So they were standing like in the doorway, and we were like, this is our last song. And then we play the song, we finish it. They go into the other room and we start playing. We play like 4 or 5 more songs. We were just like, no, you guys aren't doing this again.
Have we had any like really, other rude bands that we've played with?
I don't know. Everyone's been pretty chill. I feel like that was like really the only band where I've ever had a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so you guys have had it easy. We had a band that wouldn't shut up. Then the whole show had to get, like, we were playing in a church, and the whole show had to get fast forward. So they had to cut their set so that we could play and the band after us could play. And they just kept going and going. So we ended up setting up our gear right in front of them, literally just right in the middle of their set. And we set up the drums, and then their singer kicked the drum over, and then we got into a fight, and it was a whole big thing. And then the whole show got shut down.
Oh man.
So yeah, that band sucks. Those are like, that was the worst in all my years of playing music. That was the worst night.
As soon as you said they were from Connecticut, I knew they were going to suck.
Oh, I mean, again, most of my shows were in Connecticut, but is what it is. We played a lot in Albany and Troy area. I feel like you guys would do well in that area too. There's a lot of like dive bar kind of places.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the grungier the place, the grungier the music. So
typically the better the place. Like there was this tiny little club. I know I've told this podcast or the people that listen to this podcast, but there was a spot in Maine called The Cave, ran by this woman, Kathy. And she had bunk beds for the bands. She had a fucking pizza oven. And after the show, she would just crank out pizzas for everybody. So we were sitting there. I was hanging out with the Agnostic Front eating pizza that this woman, Kathy, was making.
Does she let people live there? That'd be awesome.
You get to stay overnight, and then I think she kicks everybody out. But it's in a fucking barn behind her house. So you're like, where the fuck am I going? You're down this like bumpy road, and it's a legit club. Like
that's
1,500 people club.
Hell yeah.
How many? 1,500?
Yeah, probably maybe 1,000. It's a good sized barn.
Yeah, a barn. Yeah. Huh.
She's battling cancer. I follow her on Instagram. I aspire to be as cool as her in my days. Back to a scene.
Back to that go-go show. It took place in a barn.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And Toothy, they opened up. That was one of Phil's former bandmates from Husks. Him and his buddy Josh. They just did like this electronic, like synthy kind of music. It was pretty cool. They were like up on like the balcony of this barn and playing down towards all of us. It was super cool.
They were awesome.
Oh, I totally just like fucked up my back. They had this skateboard attached to like this like bungee rope that was tied to the ceiling of the barn, and it was like people were jumping off the balcony and like swinging up and down, like back and forth. And it was the coolest thing. I was pretty drunk. And I was like, I'm trying this. I'm going up there. I'm standing up there. And I try it 2 or 3 times. I'm not really getting it. The last time I do it, I go up and I get to the top of like the parabola and I lose my I lose my grip and I start falling and I let go and I just slammed down on my back and I like roughed up my back. I like scraped it up pretty good and on the dirty like barnwood floor. Not a good time.
Oh,
sounds sexy.
well,
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
All right. Well, on that hot note, where can people hear Memory Lane's music right now if they wanted to hear it?
Well, I mean, you can look it up on Spotify. You can go to our Bandcamp, Bandcamp Fridays. You know, we got a little kickback from that. So if you guys wanted to actually purchase the music, which is pretty dope, you guys can do that. When we play shows again, like we're going to have CDs and like t-shirts and stuff. So you can grab a CD then. What else do we have? I think we're all over the streaming sites, right?
Yeah, we're on Apple Music. Ron already said Spotify, Bandcamp. Yeah, pretty much anywhere.
Is that live stream up that people can still watch, or is that one night only?
It is, yeah. Yep.
On the Facebook, right?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's Memory Lane on Facebook, and we should be up there.
Yeah, and we do have our music video too. One of our singles off the record was called "Fuck It," but they made it YouTube as they do is, if you're 18 plus, you can watch this they did that to us because it's called Fuck It.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. So we have that on YouTube as well. And if we can find a way to get the live stream on YouTube, probably do that too.
Oh yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Thank you boys very much for joining. I hope to come out to a show very soon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Buy you guys some beers at Ralph's.
Sounds good. Can't beat the $1.50 Jenny's.
Right? Hell yeah. Welcome back us to the show.
And listeners.
And listeners who hopefully didn't leave. Right? Yeah. You want them to stay from the beginning through the beginning, the interview, and then through the end. We are technically on the whole thing, but we recorded the interview, so we jumped into that. Then we came back to just us.
Now you know how the sausage is made. And by sausage, I mean podcast.
Hey, this is the most sausagey podcast.
The most sausagey podcast in Worcester. But yeah,
right.
it was good to talk to the band. Good to talk to the boys and find out how they got started, how they got the name. Band names always delight me to no end. And hearing like old band names are always some of my favorite. It's like listening to weird strains of cannabis. I love it. Well, because everything has a weird name and like there's so many names that are already used. So now they have to like add these. That's how we get to like, and they will know us by the Trail of Dead or like we're getting these extra long names.
What was it like? Is it Rock and Shock where all the bands have like their names are in like spider webs or something? I know it's not just Rock and Shock, but I just remember like seeing the flyers for that and being like, oh, I can read 3 of these.
Yeah, a lot of the black metal bands and like the real heavy stuff. Yeah, they like the scratch font.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about that world. I stick to, I guess beer. They all have like weird names, but they're just that can be named after anything.
Much like a band.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. So shout out the Memory Lane guys for coming on. Super excited to catch you guys playing at Ralph's and probably the Vernon. Although I haven't been to the Vernon since we did our live show. Was the last time I was at the Vernon. That was 3 years ago.
We just passed the anniversary of the account. I forgot to send you a message that it
for
was
3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be the podcast started that
November.
And then the live show was like 4 episodes in. Like sometime in December.
6.
I remember that.
It was the 6th episode, but yeah.
Okay.
It was really early.
Yeah. We're like, we're doing a live show.
I wanted to help out again. So talk about band days. Great fucking segue because my guitar player Ivan was out here looking for a show and I was trying to book him a show and he was playing this interesting music, but like I didn't know anybody in the scene around here at that point. Yeah. Now I know where I can connect him. But before I was like, man, I really want to help my dude, but I don't know where the hell to put him.
Yeah.
The easiest room to book in Worcester was
the Vernon.
Because you just write your name on a calendar. You literally just walk up and pencil your name. So it does not surprise me that the Vernon gets double booked because some idiot can just scratch off your name on the calendar or just brow line underneath it and write their name too.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. What a wild.
Oh,
I wonder how the Vernon is going to be post-COVID.
I don't know.
We'll have to go to memory lane and play as we'll go.
I got pizza from My Love Frankie's tonight and I was standing in there waiting for my waiting to pick up and half the people didn't have masks on. So we're in that like weird, now that they've lifted the mandate, we're in that weird transition period where I had a mask on because I just felt weird going out without it. But
yeah,
half the people didn't feel odd enough.
I stopped yesterday. We picked up food from Lucky's Cafe. And I think everybody sitting, it's really small. I've never been there until yesterday. It was pretty
Lucky's Cafe. I used to meet my friend Jess there for breakfast.
Really? It's a cool spot. Like
it's a sweet little spot.
Yeah. I've never been there before. But their Instagram makes everything look so good. And I was like, I need this. Their Instagram's very good. So we stopped yesterday and picked up takeout and brought it back home. But the guy working and the woman working both had a mask on. We were going over at a friend's house the other night and I stopped to get beer. Or yesterday, I was shooting over to a friend's house and the guy at the liquor store didn't have a mask on. And I got up and put the stuff down and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is going on right now? Like I had one on, but like I don't know. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, I guess I'm kind of the only person that has this on in here. This is very strange.
Dude, I got to tell you all about our vacation in Rhode Island last weekend. I got to tell the show because, they were a week ahead of us. So when we were out there, there were people already doing it. And it was
kind of wild.
Dude, it was wild.
Oh,
But people will just have to tune into the next episode for that.
I was going to say, we'll have to do another one and just let people know what's going on.
But until then, you can find us on the interwebs at Hunchback Travis. Find me at Hustle and Work, or find us at SeltzerTime.com.
That's true. You guys can find me at DickChuck77, every platform, doing it big, as the kids say.
And bold.
Doing it big and bold. And Seltzer Time Official, also doing it big and bold.
Maybe even beautiful.
It depends, but not usually.
I feel beautiful. I'm talking for myself.
No, I know. When like you're on the videos, it's beautiful. And it's just me or a can of seltzer. It's like, well. But yeah. Guys, also, I couldn't do anything cool this weekend because of the rain.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, this has been a super bummer, but plan for content because Ricky and I are going to hang out and actually make TikToks again. I'm kind of like doodling sketches.
Some cute stuff's about to happen.
See you then.
Bye.